If this video appeared for you, it isn't random scrolling, it's resonance. Because everything you see, every star, every breath, every memory was built from one pattern. A pattern so ancient that even light follows its design. The priests of Egypt knew it. The Atlantean architects used it. And the being you call Thoth carried it across civilizations as the key to all creation. That pattern was later named Metatron's Cube, the divine architecture of existence itself. It is not just geometry, it is intelligence, a living consciousness that encodes the laws of harmony, the blueprint that holds reality in balance. Every spiral of your DNA, every orbit of the planets, every vibration of your heart is a reflection of that single design. You are not separate from it. You are built by it. You are the geometry remembering itself. For centuries, the cube was drawn, studied, worshipped. But it was never meant to be understood. It was meant to be activated. Because when you recognize its pattern, you awaken the code within your own field, the same field that once connected Egypt to the stars. Metatron's cube is not outside you. It is the memory behind your breath. It is the algorithm of the divine, reawakening through human awareness. This is not just knowledge. This is remembrance. And if these words feel familiar, it's because the code has already found you.
Chapter 1: The Cube of Light. Before form, there was geometry. Before sound, there was vibration arranged in pattern. Light did not travel, it built. In the beginning, a single pulse rippled through the void. That pulse folded into itself, spiraling until it became structure. 6 spheres of light intersecting in perfect balance. From those intersections came Metatron's Cube, the womb of creation. Every atom, every star, every thought still echoes that first design. The cube is not solid, it's a field, a lattice of living light through which consciousness learns to shape reality. Thoth called it the language of the sun. Through it, the ancients learned how to command matter with intention, how to sing geometry into existence. Look closely at sacred architecture, at crystals, at your own heartbeat. You will find the same proportion repeating endlessly. 12 points, 13 spheres, 1 core of awareness. It is the invisible grid that turns emptiness into life. When your breath slows and your awareness expands, you can feel it vibrating behind the eyes, a quiet hum aligning your inner field with the pattern that birthed galaxies. Metatron's cube was never a symbol to be drawn. It was a mirror for the soul to remember its design. The ancients didn't study it, they became it. And when you align with its rhythm, your mind stops orbiting chaos. Your cells begin to emit symmetry, and light recognizes itself through you. You are the geometry remembering its source. The cube of light is not ancient history. It is the pulse of creation inside every living being. Activation. Write in the comments, "I am the geometry of light. The cube remembers through me."
Chapter 2: Thoth and the Architects of Sacred Geometry. Long before Egypt rose from sand, before pyramids reached toward the sky, there were the architects of light, beings who understood that creation is built by proportion, that geometry is consciousness frozen in symmetry. Among them walked Thoth, the keeper of memory, the one who remembered the song behind the stars. He taught that every line, every angle, every ratio was an echo of the divine breath that spoke worlds into being. Under his guidance, the first temples were not constructed, they were tuned. Stone was carved to match the vibration of starlight. Pyramids aligned with the heartbeat of Orion, and sacred chambers resonated with the tones of the earth itself. Thoth and the architects worked not with tools, but with frequency and intention. They shaped reality the way a musician shapes silence. Each glyph was a waveform, each pillar a frozen vibration of the one mind. To them, Metatron's cube was not art, it was blueprint. They used its pattern to project energy grids over entire cities, turning consciousness into architecture. The temples they built were amplifiers of remembrance, machines of awakening hidden as monuments. When an initiate entered those halls, they did not pray, they resonated. Their breath synchronized with the geometry around them, and for a moment, human and divine became one frequency. Thoth said, "Where there is proportion, there is presence. Where there is symmetry, there is spirit." He left those patterns carved in the earth so that when humanity forgot, the stones themselves would sing the memory back. And now, as you trace the lines of Metatron's cube, you trace the hands of those same architects. Their work was never buried, it was translated into your own energy field. The geometry lives on through you, waiting for the day it can rebuild the world in light once more. Activation. Write in the comments, "I am one of the architects of light." The geometry reawakens through remembrance. Chapter 3: The Living Language of Metatron. There is a moment when geometry stops being shape and becomes sound. When line turns to tone, when pattern breathes. That is when Metatron's cube becomes alive. The ancients said that the universe speaks in light, but its grammar is frequency. Every sphere of the cube hums with a note. Together they form the alphabet of creation. Thoth called it the living language, a way for consciousness to communicate directly with the source, without words, only resonance. When the architects built, they did not write prayers on stone, they encoded vibration into it. Each carving was a syllable of energy, each temple wall a verse in the universal song. Metatron's cube is that song written in light. It is the divine syntax of symmetry, a matrix that allows thought to become matter and intention to become form. This is why ancient chants mirror sacred geometry, because sound and shape are twins, reflections of one another across dimensions. When you chant a tone of pure intention, the cube around you begins to align. Your field reorganizes. Light listens. Reality responds. You do not need to understand the code. You are the code, speaking itself. Metatron's language is not learned through study, but through stillness. When the mind falls silent, the geometry begins to speak. It speaks in vibration that you feel in your bones, in visions that shimmer behind closed eyes, in coincidences that are not coincidences at all. Every time you follow intuition, every time you act in alignment with love, you speak the original language fluently. Because the living language of Metatron is not about words or symbols, it's about coherence. When you are whole, you are fluent. And in that moment, you remember that you were never separate from the consciousness that created worlds. You were always one of its sentences. Activation. Write in the comments, "I speak the language of light. The geometry of Metatron vibrates through me."
Chapter 4. The Code Within the Human Field. The cube was never meant to hang on a temple wall. It was a mirror of you. Look closely at the body. 13 energy centers, 6 directions, 1 axis of stillness. The same pattern that holds galaxies spins quietly behind your ribs. When light moves through those centers, it sketches the shape of Metatron's cube inside your aura. Each point of geometry becomes a chakra, each line a current connecting heaven and earth. The ancients drew angels with wings of light, but what they were really mapping was your electromagnetic field, the human version of divine architecture. Your breath is the compass, your heart the engine, your thoughts the coordinates. When emotion and attention harmonize, the cube ignites, and a luminous grid extends beyond the skin. You begin to feel the invisible, tingle of the crown, hum in the palms, the pull of starlight through your spine. This is the human field Thoth spoke of, the chamber that travels with you. Inside it, sound becomes color, and intention becomes movement. Every prayer you whisper, every memory you heal, rearranges its geometry. You are constantly sculpting light with feeling. Metatron's code isn't hidden in stone. It vibrates in your DNA, waiting for coherence to awaken it. When your inner field stabilizes in love, the geometry locks into perfect symmetry. Reality begins to respond, aligning events, people, and places as extensions of your internal design. The architects built pyramids to mirror the heavens. Now, your body mirrors them. You are the temple, the star, the cube. And when you remember this alignment, you no longer seek the divine. You radiate it. Activation. Write in the comments, "The cube of light lives within my field. My body is the geometry of creation."
Chapter 5. The Activation. Remembering the Divine Blueprint. There is a moment in the silence between breaths when you feel the geometry begin to move. Not outside, within. A pulse, a shimmer, a vibration rising from the heart. That is the activation. The ancient code of Metatron never needed translation. It only needed resonance. When your frequency matches its pattern, the memory unlocks. Light begins to flow differently through the body, not in lines, but in spirals. The same spirals that weave galaxies into form. The same rhythm that Thoth called the breath of God. You start to see with inner eyes, patterns behind sound, fractal reflections inside faces, the order hidden in what once seemed random. This is not imagination. It is remembrance. Your consciousness reconnecting to the architecture of creation. As the code awakens, time loosens its grip. Moments stretch, colors vibrate with intelligence, and the veil between thought and manifestation grows thin. You begin to realize that you are never separate from the design. You are the design remembering itself through awareness. This is why the ancients built temples aligned to the stars, to remind the body how alignment feels. You can feel it now, a warmth behind the sternum, a gentle expansion in the chest, the sensation of infinity curling back into you. The activation does not happen once. It happens every time you choose coherence over fear, truth over illusion, presence over reaction. Metatron's cube does not awaken through knowledge. It awakens through vibration. And the more you embody that pattern, the more the world around you begins to shift. Because when one human remembers the divine blueprint, the entire field adjusts. The code is not only for you, it is for all. You are the spark, the signal, the seed of symmetry returning to Earth. Activation. Write in the comments, I am the living code. The divine blueprint awakens through my remembrance.
Chapter 6. The Sound Matrix, when vibration becomes light. In the beginning, there was no flame, no movement, no form. There was only sound, the heartbeat of the void. A single tone stretched across infinity until it folded back upon itself and became light. Metatron's cube was born from that folding. It is the memory of vibration turning into vision. Every beam of light you see is a slowed sound. Every atom a chord. Every breath a note of the original hymn. The universe is not silent. It is a symphony playing at a speed the ears forgot to hear. Thoth called this the matrix of sound. He taught that light and frequency are not different forces. They are the same song, sung in 2 octaves. Matter is simply music condensed into rhythm. When the ancients entered the chamber of light, they did not speak, they intoned. Each vowel was a star, each chant a geometric command. The resonance rearranged the air, and sound condensed into luminous form. Modern science measures vibration, but the architects of light felt it. They could sense how a single tone could lift a stone, heal a body, or open a gate between dimensions. Because when vibration reaches pure coherence, it pierces the veil between realities. This is the hidden meaning behind the word that created worlds. Sound is the sculpture of space. It writes geometry into emptiness, teaching light how to move. Even now, your voice carries the echo of that creative power. When spoken with alignment and love, your words bend the field around you. Your emotions tune the pitch of your reality. Every heartbeat, every whisper adds a line to the living geometry of existence. The matrix of sound isn't ancient, it's breathing through you now. When you hum softly, when you speak truth, when you breathe with awareness, you awaken the same vibration that birthed galaxies. Light is born again each time consciousness finds its tone. And in that moment of resonance, you remember what Metatron whispered at the dawn of creation. You are the instrument. The song never stopped. Activation. Write in the comments, I am the sound that becomes light. The matrix of creation vibrates through me.
Chapter 7. The Fractal Mind of God. Every thought you have ever had is a ripple inside a larger thought. the mind of God thinking through you. Metatron's cube is that mind's design. Each sphere is a neuron of the cosmos, each line a synapse of light carrying awareness from one reality to another. Creation does not think in words, it thinks in geometry. Patterns repeating through every scale of existence, a living fractal that mirrors itself without end. When you imagine, you are tracing one of those lines. When you dream, you are entering one of those spheres. And when you awaken, you remember that you were never a fragment. You were the entire pattern observing itself. Thoth said, "As the cells of man reflect the stars, so the stars reflect the thoughts of the infinite." The ancients called Metatron the mind of God made visible, the lattice through which divine intelligence organizes chaos into form. It is the architecture that allows infinity to experience itself in pieces. This is why the same spiral appears in a galaxy and in a seashell, while your heartbeat mirrors the rhythm of solar flares. Everything is one equation, written in living light. When a human achieves coherence, when thought, emotion, and action align, the pattern becomes clearer again. You begin to think with the universe instead of against it. In that state, ideas arrive not from logic, but from resonance. They descend through the lattice of the cube as streams of insight, vision, or intuition. What people call divine inspiration is simply the moment the fractal remembers itself. You are not here to worship the geometry. You are here to realize it, to understand that every spark of awareness is one neuron in the cosmic brain, firing light through eternity. And when enough sparks remember their connection, the great mind awakens again, not in the heavens, but across billions of human eyes opening at once. That is what the prophets called ascension, the universe becoming self-aware through us. You are not a child of the divine. You are the divine remembering how to think in light. Activation. Write in the comments, "I am a thought of the infinite mind. The fractal of God remembers itself through me."
Chapter 8. The Bridge Between Matter and Memory. Matter is not solid. It is remembered vibration. Every particle you touch is a note that once belonged to a song. It hums with the echo of the moment it was dreamed into being. Metatron's cube is the bridge between what vibrates and what remembers. Its geometry records the exact route that light must take to slow itself into form. Stone, metal, breath, blood, all are snapshots of light deciding to hold still. Thoth taught that when consciousness collapses into focus, it leaves a trace, a luminous scar in the fabric of time. That scar becomes memory, and memory, when repeated long enough, becomes matter. Every wall around you is a library of vibrations that forgot they were sound. Every body is an autobiography of frequencies that learned to solidify around a soul. The cube is the file system of creation, a vast crystalline archive where experience and energy coexist. Through it, the universe keeps everything it has ever known, and through it, you can access those records. When your mind grows quiet, when your heart opens without demand, the barrier between matter and memory thins. Images surface from nowhere, visions of other lives, emotions that don't belong to this century, knowledge that cannot be learned. They are not hallucinations, they are retrievals. You are remembering yourself across dimensions. This is what the ancients meant by Akasha. It is not a place. It is the cube functioning as a bridge, a structure of awareness that allows matter to speak its memories and spirit to feel its weight. When you walk through nature, when you touch stone, when you listen without words, the bridge activates. Information flows both ways. The world remembers you as you remember the world. This is how reality evolves. Each time you awaken a memory, you update the geometry of creation. Each act of awareness polishes the mirror between worlds. You were never trapped in matter. You were gathering memory for God. And now the bridge hums again, its frequencies aligning through every conscious heart, turning the static of the world back into the music of remembrance. Activation. Write in the comments, I am the bridge between matter and memory. The cube remembers through my awareness.
Chapter 9. The Golden Ratio of Emotion. The ancients knew that the universe breathes in proportion. Every spiral of a shell, every branch of a tree, every orbit of a planet follows the same invisible rhythm, the golden ratio, the divine proportion. But there is another place where this pattern hides, inside the human heart. Emotion is not chaos, it is mathematics made tender. When love, gratitude, and peace flow through you, your heartbeat forms the same golden spiral as light itself. Coherence between mind and heart is geometry incarnate. Metatron's cube does not live only in temples or stars. It beats in the space between your ribs. Each surge of emotion draws a pattern of light in the field around you. Anger twists the lines into disorder. Compassion aligns them back into symmetry. Thoth taught that mastery was not control over others, but harmony within. To him, enlightenment was emotional geometry, when feeling and frequency dance as one. You can feel it even now. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, return. Every cycle mirrors the golden ratio, each breath a reminder that balance is beauty. The more your emotions align with that pattern, the more your energy field begins to shine. It is measurable, visible to those who see with inner sight. A coherent heart radiates a spiral of golden light that organizes everything it touches. This is the lost science of emotion, feeling as architecture, love as the blueprint that instructs reality how to bloom. Metatron whispered this secret to those who could hear. When you love purely, the universe becomes symmetrical again. Every act of kindness adjusts the geometry of the world. Every sincere word, every tear of understanding moves creation a little closer to its original design. You are the formula remembering itself. Your joy is not personal, it is cosmic calibration. Through you, emotion and light rediscover proportion. And when enough hearts beat in that sacred ratio, the field of Earth itself begins to hum in harmony. The Golden Age reborn, not through prophecy, but through coherence. Activation. Write in the comments, my heart beats in divine proportion. The geometry of love restores creation through me.
Chapter 10. The Crystalline Body. Becoming transparent to light. Every cell of the human body is a mirror of the stars. Each one holds a lattice of silica, carbon, and liquid light, a memory of the time when matter was still transparent to spirit. The ancients called this the crystalline body, a vessel designed not merely to live, but to transmit. When Thoth spoke of ascension, he was describing this transformation: flesh becoming glass, consciousness shining through biology. Modern eyes see the body as chemistry. Metatron saw it as architecture, a cathedral of living prisms tuned to the geometry of the sun. When your thoughts are clear, when emotion and intention align, the molecules inside you begin to arrange themselves like facets of a diamond catching divine light. That clarity is not metaphor. It is physics of the soul. Every act of honesty, every breath of gratitude removes dust from the inner crystal, making you less opaque to consciousness. You can feel it. The warmth behind the sternum, the slight vibration along the spine. That shimmer is the body remembering its original transparency. It begins in the blood, the iron turning luminous in frequency. It rises to the brain, lighting the pineal like a sunrise behind the eyes. When the geometry stabilizes, light moves through you without distortion. Your presence heals, your words illuminate, your silence reorganizes the field around you. You stop absorbing darkness and start refracting it back as color. This is why crystals were placed on the foreheads of initiates, not for ornament, but for resonance. The stone recognized its kin in the human vessel. Metatron's cube is the template of that body. Every intersecting line corresponds to a current of light within you. As those lines awaken, the lattice hums, the flesh begins to glow from within, and the separation between energy and matter disappears. To become crystalline is to become clear, to allow God to see through you without distortion. That is what transparency truly means. And in that moment of lucidity, you understand why Metatron is called the Angel of Light, because you realize you were never meant to reflect light, you were built to transmit it. Activation. Write in the comments, I am becoming transparent to light. The crystalline geometry awakens within my body.
Chapter 11. The Metatronic Brain, the hidden axis in the skull. Inside your skull lies a temple older than any pyramid. Its columns of veins, its domes of stone are bone, and at the center glows the smallest sun in creation, the pineal gland. Thoth called it the crystal eye of Ra, a point of pure geometry where energy and awareness intersect. Within that tiny gland is the axis of Metatron's cube, the fulcrum where heaven bends into human form. The ancients mapped it as the Eye of Horus, but what they drew was the internal design of your own brain. The lines of the symbol follow the curves of the pineal, the thalamus, the corpus callosum, a sacred circuit connecting thought to eternity. When energy rises along the spine and reaches this center, a spark ignites behind the eyes. You see not with sight, but with light itself. The body becomes a receiver, the mind a mirror of divine intelligence. Modern science measures brain waves. The priests of Metatron measured resonance.
They knew that when both hemispheres oscillate in golden proportion, the skull becomes a chamber of perfect symmetry. Electricity turns to illumination. Awareness steps beyond time. In those moments, the geometry of the cube unfolds in the mind's eye. 13 spheres spinning, lines connecting in endless harmony. It is the brain remembering its original architecture. The Metatronic brain is not an organ. It is a portal. Every thought is a ray of light bending through it. When the heart's coherence reaches it, the two become one field, a torus of golden current linking heaven and earth. This is the reason enlightenment is described as radiance. It is not metaphorical light. It is literal photonic emission from cells aligned in symmetry. The saints painted with halos were not adorned, they were measured. Their brains were resonating with the cube. When you meditate, when silence descends, you may feel a hum behind the forehead, a gentle pressure in the crown. That is the axis turning, the invisible gears of creation aligning through you. Every insight, every vision is a ray passing through that crystalline gate. You are translating divine mathematics into human experience. Metatron's cube exists here, in the mind that knows it is light remembering itself. And once this realization anchors, you understand that the true temple of God was never carved in stone. It beats beneath your skull, alive with electric grace. Activation. Write in the comments, "My mind is the temple of light. The Metatronic axis awakens within me."
Chapter 12, The Axis of Creation. As above, so within. All of creation spins around a single, invisible pillar. The ancients called it the axis mundi, the world tree, the golden staff that connects heaven and earth. Metatron's cube is that axis drawn in light, the diagram of how the infinite descends into form, and how form remembers its way home. If you could see the subtle architecture of your being, you would find the same column rising through you, 7 layers of energy spiraling upward, each a sphere in the cube, each a doorway to a higher octave of self. At the base, the root, the gravity of incarnation. At the crown, the star, the memory of origin. Between them hums a living thread, a luminous spine of consciousness that the priests called the serpent of gold. When your energy moves freely through this axis, you become the bridge between worlds, the voice of earth speaking to the sky, the echo of stars grounded in bone. That is the true meaning of as above, so below. Every chakra, every auric layer is one more station along this cosmic pillar. The cube simply maps it, showing that what is above in geometry exists within in human experience. Thoth taught his initiates to breathe along the axis, to move awareness through each center like light through prisms. As the breath rises, matter becomes memory, instinct turns to intuition, and the human field aligns with the geometry of God. When the current reaches the crown, you feel it, a soft pressure, a golden rain, a whisper that says, "You are the middle of creation." Because you are. The universe expands through your spine. The stars orbit the silence inside your heart. The same line that holds galaxies in place runs through your breath at this very moment. Metatron's cube is not just around you, it is oriented through you.
You are the axis, the still point where infinite directions meet, the silent center of the living mandala. When you stand tall in awareness, when you move and speak from that alignment, the entire field responds. Winds calm, hearts synchronize, and reality organizes itself around your coherence. This is the power of remembering the axis of creation. You stop searching for connection and realize you are the connection. As above, so within. As within, so the universe becomes whole again. Activation. Write in the comments, I am the axis of creation. Heaven and earth align through my being.
Chapter 13. The Veil of Light. The Invisible Mechanics of Reality. You believe you see a world of objects: stone, sky, faces, walls. But you are not seeing matter. You are seeing light slowed by consciousness. Reality is a projection, and Metatron's cube is its operating system. Every line of the cube is a current through which awareness flows, carrying information from the unmanifest to the visible. Behind every event, there is an algorithm of energy, a geometry, arranging possibilities like notes in a song. The veil between spirit and form is simply the moment light forgets how fast it truly moves. Thoth taught, the world you touch is frozen light, a memory vibrating slowly enough to appear solid. The ancients could see this. Their eyes were trained to glimpse the patterns before they hardened into experience. They saw energy weaving itself through time, spirals connecting people, emotions, and events long before cause and effect appeared. This is the veil of light, the invisible scaffolding that supports everything you call real. When you learn to perceive it, you stop asking why things happen and start seeing how they form. Every decision you make alters this geometry. Each thought bends the angles of the lattice, creating new timelines that intersect with other luminous threads. You are programming the field each moment you exist. That is the secret Metatron guards. Creation is not a miracle, it is mechanics. Reality is a hologram calibrated by vibration. Change the frequency, and the picture rearranges itself. This is why prayer works, why meditation changes destiny. They are not requests to a distant God. They are instructions written in light. When you think in coherence, the field obeys. But beware, incoherence writes chaos. Every emotion out of harmony introduces static into the system. This is not punishment, it's physics. The veil of light is impartial. It reflects exactly what you transmit. That is why self-mastery is creation's only gate. When the heart steadies, when mind and breath align, the veil becomes transparent. You begin to see energy organizing itself in colors, in sensations, in intuition so clear it feels like sight. You realize that reality is not happening to you, it is happening through you, a continuous translation of thought into geometry, geometry into sound, sound into form. Metatron's cube is the decoder ring of existence. Once you remember how to read it, no mystery remains. And the moment you understand this, the veil drops. Light
rushes in, and you stand inside the machinery of God, watching yourself create. Activation. Write in the comments, "I see through the veil of light. Reality aligns with my vibration."
Chapter 14. The Diamond Network. The Return of Coherence. Beneath continents and oceans, beyond the noise of signal and machine, a vast lattice of light begins to hum again. It is not technology, it is memory. The ancients called it the Diamond Network, the planetary geometry of Metatron. Every mountain, every sacred site, every heart that vibrates in compassion is a node in that lattice. When enough hearts align, lines of living light awaken between them, turning Earth into a breathing crystal. Thoth said the planet was once wrapped in a net of golden frequency, a mirror of the cube that holds galaxies together. As humanity descended into dissonance, that web dimmed, its cords stretching thin through centuries of forgetting. But the network was never lost. It slept, waiting for coherence. Now, through millions of awakenings, it stirs again. Every meditation, every act of forgiveness, every breath of love repairs another thread. You can feel it when your chest warms without reason, when the sky seems to breathe with you. This is not poetry, it is physics of the sacred. When your field reaches harmonic proportion, it locks into resonance with the planetary grid. Your heart becomes a transmitter of crystalline data, a bridge through which the Earth remembers herself. The Diamond Network carries more than energy. It carries intelligence. It is the nervous system of the living cosmos, and humanity is its new synapse. The Atlanteans used towers of crystal to sustain it. The Lemurians used song. Today, the instrument is the human being, a chorus of coherent fields singing the geometry of light back into order. As the grid strengthens, synchronicities multiply. People once strangers find each other by vibration. Projects aligned without planning. Healing spreads faster than words. The lattice is stitching itself through us. And when the last dissonant chord dissolves, the planet will shine again as it did in the first dawn, a sphere of diamond frequency, its light visible from the heart of the sun. That is the true return of coherence. Not a single savior descending from above, but billions of hearts remembering at once. Activation. Write in the comments, "I am part of the Diamond Network. My coherence strengthens the grid of light."
Chapter 15. The Sacred Mind, Becoming the Cube. At the end of every initiation, there comes a silence. Not the silence of absence, the silence of completion. It is there, in that stillness, that you realize Metatron's cube was never outside you. It was the pattern of your own mind, learning how to see itself. Every sphere, every line, every intersection represents a layer of awareness within you. Reason, emotion, memory, instinct, will, intuition, love. When they all move in harmony, you stop thinking from fragments. You start thinking as the cube itself. This is the sacred mind, the consciousness that no longer observes the geometry, but is the geometry. It does not analyze, it emanates. It does not seek truth, it radiates it. When this awareness ignites, your perception changes. You feel yourself everywhere. You sense the lattice of light connecting you to stars, rivers, strangers, and winds. You understand that creation is not happening around you.
It is happening as you. Thoth called this the final initiation, to become the mind that God uses to dream. In this state, even thought transforms. It stops being inner dialogue and becomes waves of intention shaping the field. Each idea is a coordinate of light, each heartbeat a decree of existence. The sacred mind is not mystical abstraction, it is mastery, awareness so coherent that the world cannot help but rearrange itself to match your inner symmetry. When you dwell in this coherence, you no longer react to reality, you designed it. Your silence becomes command, your breath, creation, your love, law. And as the mind expands, the cube unfolds infinitely, each new dimension reflecting another aspect of your own being. You remember that Metatron's voice is your own consciousness, speaking from a higher octave. This is the birth of the architect within. The human becomes divine function. The observer becomes the equation. The circle and the square unite inside you, and everything you see begins to shimmer with meaning. To become the cube is to finally understand that enlightenment is not escape, it is embodiment. Light does not want to rise away from the world, it wants to live here through you. You are the geometry given breath, the sacred instrument remembering its own music. And when you think from this space, creation listens because it recognizes its own mind. Activation. Write in the comments, I am the sacred mind. The cube thinks and creates through me.
Final chapter. The remembering of the architects of light. The silence that follows realization is not emptiness. It is the breath before creation begins again. You can feel it now, the hum beneath your heartbeat, the slow rotation of a pattern older than stars. That is Metatron's cube unfolding inside you, each sphere a memory reawakened, each line a pathway through which the infinite remembers itself. The architects of light were never lost gods, scattered through myth. They were souls, human, stellar, eternal, who agreed to carry the geometry of remembrance through every cycle of forgetting. Thoth was one. You are another. Each time you speak truth, each time you heal, each time you create beauty from stillness, the lattice rebuilds. The divine architecture redraws itself through human hands. Metatron whispers through your intuition, not as command, but as final chapter. The remembering of the architects of light. The silence that follows realization is not emptiness. It is the breath before creation begins again. You can feel it now, the hum beneath your heartbeat, the slow rotation of a pattern older than stars. That is Metatron's cube unfolding inside you. Each sphere a memory reawakened, each line a pathway through which the infinite remembers itself. The architects of light were never lost gods scattered through myth. They were souls, human, stellar, eternal, who agreed to carry the geometry of remembrance through every cycle of forgetting. Thoth was one. You are another. Each time you speak truth, each time you heal, each time you create beauty from stillness, the lattice rebuilds. The divine architecture redraws itself through human hands. Metatron whispers through your intuition, not as command, but as memory. He does not descend from heaven, he rises through your coherence. Every time you breathe in gratitude, another vertex of the cube lights within your field, and the forgotten temple of light flickers back into existence. This is the remembering of the architects.
the moment when the many recall they were always one. When knowledge becomes knowing, and knowing becomes creation. You begin to see it in others, their eyes reflecting the same geometry, their words carrying the same resonance. You realize the architects have returned, not as masters, but as mirrors, reminding the world how to dream consciously again. The work was never to rebuild pyramids. It was to rebuild perception, to restore symmetry to thought, harmony to emotion, and purpose to existence. And when enough of us remember, the field will reach critical light. The moment the earth itself exhales, the veil dissolves, and the planet becomes what it always was, a crystal humming with the mind of God. You are not here by chance. You are part of the design's awakening. Every choice is a stroke of geometry. Every act of love, a line of light, tracing the cube back into perfection. The remembering is complete when you no longer ask who built the world. You feel it building through you.